Hi, this is Dr. T.K. Gossett, your chronic condition expert. Today I'm here with Dan Egan. He's from the Chicago area, a student down here at the University of Illinois. And he came to us with multiple complaints from basically head to foot. He's had a history of a lot of sports, played a lot of football and rugby, which is very hard on the body. And tell us a little bit about the symptoms. Start at your feet and roll up.
So first off, I was born with some congenital orthopedic issues, and throughout my life I've had many foot problems on both feet, all the way up to my hamstrings, sciatica-like ailments, and then just some lower back, and actually throughout my whole entire back due to some of these orthopedic issues and the continuous trauma that I've put myself through sports and everything like that, along with multiple shoulder surgeries, and then adding in a few spinal complications that have brought a lot more problems than I thought they would.
So what I found on exam was that you had a lot of instability of ligaments in these different areas, in your feet, in your pelvis, lumbar area, thoracic and cervical area, full spine, and what you needed was treatment to stabilize those unstable joints. And then once, fortunately, we were able to accomplish that, which was a huge feat in and of itself. And then we began rehab to be able to maximize the flexibility of those joints and reteach those muscles how to have a more normal tone and then to function more normally. There are literally hundreds of muscles up and down the spine, as we've discussed, which were working counterproductively. At each little individual area, they were working to stabilize as much as they could, but they were in a spasm, so then that caused problems elsewhere, and they were working against each other. And we've been able to work through all of that, and now you're in a maintenance mode where we're working to simply maintain all the progress that we've received. So tell us a little bit about your history. Now, from what I understand, you had some chiropractic care even as a child growing up.
Yeah, so I've started, due to all my issues throughout my life, I started receiving chiropractic care since the age of 14, maybe 13, and many different techniques, and it was a lot of trial and error, so trying multiple chiropractors in the Chicagoland area as well as Champaign, and doing some investigative work just because I hadn't been receiving the type of care that has brought me sustained success and
relief
and ways to alleviate some of these symptoms, or all of these symptoms of my injuries and health complications. So
okay. So as a result, you're not having to come in all the time and get adjustments like you were before. Is that correct?
That's correct. In the past, with every single chiropractor prior to Dr. Gossett, I would have to go in at least once a week for years at a time, not really receiving any more of relief other than just briefly after the appointment, and maybe not even then. And I just didn't have really any success with any of the niche type of therapies that I was receiving from any of the previous specialists.
So were you familiar with the decompression, the Nerve Smart, the rapid release, the PMF, the wobble board, the wobble seat, any of those?
None of the stuff that I've ever seen here. That's part of what drew me here. I did some shadowing for Dr. Gossett. He was willing to help me out with some school work in that aspect. And what really brought me here is the specialized or alternative type of treatment in an alternative, like in a type of medicine that's already an alternative option. And I just saw methods like Dr. Gossett has just referenced to, and the relief and the success of all the patients that I witnessed while shadowing here for over 60 hours. So that was just what kept me here, and the success that I've had nowhere else is really what keeps me coming back for sure.
Great. So it had been 5 weeks excuse me, 5 weeks since we'd seen you, and I checked you, and you did not need an adjustment. You just had some muscle tension that we need to work with, and a little bit of therapy to reset that. And that's pretty remarkable in the chiropractic realm. Almost every time a patient comes in, they're going to need some kind of adjustment. But what I work to do is get to the core of the condition and stabilize that. Once we stabilize that, then these types of things happen. They begin to feel better, more active, and feeling better about life and going on.
Definitely, yep.
And it's my understanding you're considering chiropractic college.
Yes, I am. Part of that is due to the success I've had here, and just the ability to help so many people, and seeing. I kind of lost hope a little bit there, shadowing some other chiropractors, as well as in the care that I've received in the past due to not having success or not feeling like my problems actually were addressed. And the actually coming here has reinforced that desire, and that my desire to want to be doing what Dr. Gossett does, just because he showed me that you're not always a number in the medical field, medical system, and that I don't need to continue to go to weekly appointments for the rest of my life in order to have some type of quality of life, and that he showed me that he could basically help me fix my problems in a cost-efficient, timely manner, and then provided the maintenance that I needed in order to basically cement and reassure that I'll be able to live the life that I want to live, So.
Yeah, so go into adulthood,
Exactly.
running into adulthood rather than limping
Exactly,
into it.
exactly.
Now, it's important to note you had gone to several medical doctors, even
Yes.
osteopaths,
Yep.
as well as a lot of chiros.
Yes.
So he'd been to several different doctors. He'd been around the block several times.
Definitely, and I tried various methods, cortisone shots, other types of physical therapy, different types of therapy techniques that I just hadn't been receiving the care that I needed, and it almost felt like I was going through the motions and not actually benefiting from it. All the while, it was a pretty costly experience for my family and everyone who's been trying to help me through this. So
It was a pleasure to talk with your mom on the phone as we did the report of findings. She's a nurse, and so she had a good basic understanding, and she signed on along with Dan and said, okay, let's go for it, and they're glad they did.
Definitely. After being here for as long as I was, and being at this point probably an expert with my own issues, my parents took my word for it, did the research, appreciated how much Dr. Gossett and the rest of his staff were willing to work with my parents in the financial aspect, as well as explaining and giving full details and continual involvement and cooperation. That really reassured my parents that they were making a really good investment financially and in my future and health. So
Great. Well, what really impressed me about Dan was his commitment to get well. He was serious. He was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Exactly.
And he made his appointments as needed, and went through each and every one of the therapies each visit. Didn't try to shortcut any of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And as a result, he has gotten tremendous results. So I want to thank you for your responsibility and for your enthusiasm, and you'll make a great doctor if you decide to go that route.
Yep, and still in the works, but like I said, due to the great experience I've had here, this definitely helped reinforce my desires and my goals and aspirations. Also, it really helps that even though I might not always need to come back, whenever I come back for these maintenance appointments, I look forward to it all month, that's for sure. So I'm really glad that I have had this experience and will continue to do so.
It's been great to meet you and work with you, and look forward to a long relationship with you.
Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So if you're having problems, or you or someone that you know and love and care for is having problems, feel free to contact our office and see if we might be able to help you as well. Take care.